It has finished at Craven Cottage. It is Fulham 0, Arsenal 1. Was that convincing? Do we care? It's 3 points. Arsenal find themselves top of the tree. And I've got to be honest with you, I'm happy that we're top. We're going to talk about the convincing performance, the lack of convincing performance. Was it a convincing performance? We're going to talk about individual performances and team performance. We're going to talk about particular the attack of Arsenal. Set piece again, LA. Do we care? Now it's 1-0. Another clean sheet. Still no goal conceded. Only the one from open play, which of course is Haaland. We're going to talk about Victor Gyökeres. We're going to talk about Leandro Trossard, the goal scorer. We're definitely going to mention Bukayo Saka and another defensive display from Arsenal. I think we need to actually look at some of the kind of play today, if I'm honest with you. So do me a favor, people, hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. We are literally 21 away from 55k. If everyone can please hit the subscribe button, we can hit 55k on this stream. So please, mods, let's get everyone hitting like and subscribe, and we can hit 55k today. Please make sure you're showing love to today's sponsor in the description. He's big up on that one as well. I don't know what's going on there, people, but Arsenal's performance today. Let's talk with the team lineup first of all, because I've got to be honest, the team lineup today was something that shocked me a little bit, with Trossard still staying on the pitch at the left-hand side. And then we get shut up. He scores. I don't know why he's starting at the moment, if I'm honest with you. I do see him more as a super sub. I appreciate he scored the goal, but I wanted to get your thoughts in the chat about what that is all about at the moment. Why is Trossard playing on that left-hand side over the likes of Eze, over the likes of Martinelli, or trying something different? For me, I didn't think he was great today. Now, I know that he scored and it can shut everybody up, and then people can all start talking about how he should be starting now because he scored. I don't think there was enough from him today. I've got to be honest with you. So I wanted to start with that player for the pure fact that he's the goal scorer, but also for the fact that I don't think he should be starting on the left-hand side. And I said this in one of the group chats. Starting Leandro Trossard in the year of 2025, no disrespect to him, but it's like driving around in a car that used to be fashionable 20 years ago and still driving around in it now and believing that everyone's looking at you jealous or you're having double head turns. They're just not. Like, nobody wants to be playing Trossard on the left in 2025. He's a player that comes on across the front line if you are struggling to score. And I think he's done that with the amount of goals that he's come on and scored for Arsenal. Today, gets the goal, fair play, set piece, we're going to come into that. But Leandro Trossard wasn't a massive fan of the performance, and it's kind of ironic saying that because he's won us the game. Now, I like Trossard as a player. I do. I think he's a good player. I don't look at him and think that he's should go back to Brighton or he should be playing at a level like Fulham, etc. I do think he's a good player. But I think we should, let's be real, looking at that left wing position and upgrading on it. If he doesn't want to play Martinelli, we've got to go and get a Semenyo, or maybe we look to go and do something in the summer or January to try and upgrade in that position, because I just felt like Calafiori was more a threat. I actually thought he was okay again today, Calafiori. I did. I thought going forward, again, he actually offered us something more than perhaps Trossard did. And there's nothing wrong with playing Trossard out there, but I don't want him starting every game. I just feel like it's a bit of a deflating team lineup when he's on it every week on the left-hand side. Now, we are going to potentially see a lot of rotation. We've got games midweek coming up now, so I guess we're going to see different starting 11s from now on, but from previously. Now the Champions League games and Carabao Cup games are coming into action. But I just don't want to be seeing Trossard starting on the left in every single game. And I've got to be honest with you, I thought it was a very deflating performance today, even though that he scored. And that just shows how bad that, you know, in his individual performance was in parts. I'm going to start next with a huge positive. By far the best player on the pitch, clear man of the match, Bukayo Saka. Absolutely brilliant today. Influential, a threat going forward. In everything that he did, it was positive. And I love the fact that he had telepathy with pretty much everybody on that right-hand side and centrally in the pitch as well. It wasn't just the influence that he had and how good he looked with Timber. It was actually looking to flick players through like Zubamendi. We saw him making passes for Eza. We saw him trying to put the ball through to Victor Gyökeres, which we'll come back to. I was really impressed with Bukayo Saka today. I don't know about your guys. I thought he was by far man of the match. I thought he was excellent in everything that he did. And without getting a goal or an assist, I know he obviously took the corner, which was flicked on from Gabriel for the goal. He was by far the best player for Arsenal. And I think probably will get man of the match if he hasn't been announced already. I think Alan Smith did announce him as man of the match today. So for me, I think he is the one positive and shining light. And I've just got to say it. I think he's our best player. Like, Bukayo Saka is our best player. Every single opposition fan that I talk to, when I ask the question, who are you looking out for? They all say Saka. And when I speak to any of them after the game, they all say Saka was the biggest threat. He's clearly our best player. When everybody is at their best, he's the guy that I look towards. And I thought he was excellent today individually. I thought the way that he linked up play was great. I thought his drive on the ball was good. I felt like he could, at times, probably look at shooting more when he cut inside. I felt every single set piece that he delivered, other than one that went really short, was at least in the right sort of area to cause some form of nuisance or danger and threat towards Fulham. And I don't think they could handle him. I know Ryan Sessegnon didn't give up, but Saka had the better of him. And if I'm honest with you, it didn't really matter who went over there. Saka was beating his man. So for me, I thought he was influential, key, and one of the most important players for Arsenal today. And if he continues to put in performances like that, we'll start to get the Bukayo Saka back that we all love. And I am going to say it, I think Mikel Arteta has overplayed him. But we've been past that now. It's about how we get him back to his best. And for me, today was one of those performances. I'm going to talk about the guy behind him as well, because although he gave away the ball a couple of times, Timber, I thought he was excellent when he won it back again today. I thought he was aggressive. I thought the athleticism was there. Going forward, I think he looked a hell of a lot better and has done for quite some time. I know Ben White has that telepathy with Saka about overlapping, but I think Timber's getting there, and he's definitely better as a footballer and defensively. And I felt that he played well today alongside Bukayo Saka. And there was times within the first half an hour where I was actually quite bored of the football we were playing, but Saka and Timber at least trying to create and bring in something. I do feel like them two, at the moment, are clearly showing that our right-hand side is elite in comparison to our left-hand side. And that's something that, as I've mentioned earlier about Trossard, we need to look at in the summer or the January, because for me right now, I need to be seeing better than what I'm seeing on that left-hand side. But Saka and Timber today, very, very good. Gabriel, another very solid performance at the back, a player who we can rely upon. Very important flick for the goal. If you look at that corner, it's inch perfect for Gabriel, but he knows he can't take that head towards goal, so he needs to flick it across. And that little flick on reminds me so much of the 1998 Arsenal team when they had Bold, Keown and Adams that were doing that for each other. Literally, Steve Bowles near post flick on and then Adams. We used to do it all the time. And that's something that hasn't been spoken about enough, I don't think. We've been trying that for some time. And that's why when people say to me, why do we keep going to the near post? That's kind of why, because there's times where Gabriel will run in front and he'll flick it on. Because everyone knows you're not scoring from the post. You know, it's very, very difficult to score from the near post. It's because you're trying to flick it on. We tried to do it a few years ago per Mertesacker sometimes because of his height. But for me now, Gabriel is just an absolute monster. And I just feel like I've got so much confidence in every time we go up for a corner when he's there. Because if he's around it, he will either set somebody up or he'll put it in himself. And the ball trickles to Trossard. It's actually quite lucky how it goes in from Leo Trossard, to be fair. Leo gets something on it. I think it's his thigh in the end. We go 1-0 up. And from that point onwards, I think Arsenal were then trying to be more professional and trying to get across the line in a way that they were just didn't want to do anything silly, didn't want to do anything too clumsy at the back, wanted to keep it real resolute and compact. And although I don't look at the scoreline, I think it's convincing, and Fulham could have definitely had chances in that game, I feel like from Arteta's point of view, the message was keep it simple and let's not do anything silly. And keeping the ball in the, the corner flag at the end there was proving that, to be honest. So I wanted to mention those individuals for sure, because I feel like they need a mention. Trossard for his goal, although wasn't convincing. Saka for his performance and for his corners and set pieces. Gabriel's for his flick on an assist for the goal, and for the fact that he was a monster throughout it again. I think they deserved a mention. Alongside Timber, and I will big up Saliba and Calafiori as well. Raya didn't have much to do. I don't think there was any world-class saves. No tipping it over the bar. No outstanding reflex saves. Nothing like that for me. Just a comfortable performance from Arsenal defensively yet again. Then we come into the midfield, and I've got to be honest, I think I was pretty unimpressed by all three. Eze was very quiet, and I'm not surprised he got substituted. He kept running into 2 or 3 players. There was an option and an understanding of trying to get kind of back, keeping it simple, but he wasn't interested in keeping it simple. He wanted to try and take risks, and he kept losing possession. I felt that was a little bit underwhelming today. And I love Eze. I think he's a great player. I don't think he was very convincing going forward. I didn't think there was much creativity from him. I didn't think there was much link-up play. I didn't think there was any opportunities for him to have a dig, and he certainly didn't fancy shooting himself. I think he had one from outside the box. I didn't think he was too great today. Just got to be honest. He's one of my favourites to watch, but I didn't think it was a great game from Eze. I think he could do a hell of a lot better. And I think he will do better in games. We saw against Newcastle that he was a hell of a lot better in that position. Thought it was obvious today that with Ødegaard out, he'd start, and he did. But then when he came off for Marino, I couldn't sit there and say that that was harsh, because I didn't think that he was influential in the game whatsoever. I didn't think he was driving forward enough on the ball, and I didn't think he was taking enough opportunities. He certainly wasn't trying to thread the ball through or find the Gyökeres or any of the front line. So for me, I felt it was pretty obvious that he was going to come off. And with Rice and Zubamendi, I saw glimpses that I liked and glimpses that I felt were very negative today. I felt Zubamendi keep things ticking over. Rice kept driving forward, but then keeping it simple. I don't think either of those really tried to deliver any passes into Gyökeres, or try to maybe take more shots from outside the box, or try to be this kind of 2 pistons of an engine that kind of didn't really drive the car, if I'm honest with you. Or should I say drove the car to a certain part of the pitch, but weren't really doing much in the final third, either of them this time. So we saw opportunities. I think Rice drove forward a few times. Zubamendi got into the box and looked to cross, where I thought maybe he could have shot. But in midfield today, I don't think we... I'm not going to say that we did dominate or didn't dominate. There wasn't really much to dominate, if I'm honest. It was quite easy from Arsenal. And from the perspective of Rice and Zubamendi, I thought it was quite comfortable from them individually. But I didn't really see anything from them that I thought, wow, exceptional from them today. And that goes for all 3 of them. When Marino come on, likewise, I didn't think he really got into the game enough. I thought there was some nice touches, and there was a couple of opportunities that perhaps his decision-making could have been questioned, but I thought he was okay, but nothing special. So I didn't look at any of the performances in midfield today and think, wow, Arsenal dominated. They were different level. But let's just be honest. It was a slow game from Arsenal. And in that first 30 minutes, I don't think there was much that happened at all, if I'm honest. And then we come to Victor Gyökeres. And today's performance is one of the first, second, maybe third times that I've gone, yeah, I don't really know what he did today. There was a couple of moments he had where he spun his man. One moment he spun his man and took a shot. Good save from Leno in the first half. Another time, he had a kind of spin and then decided he wanted to go down for a penalty. I don't really think it was ever going to be a penalty in a million years, and he definitely could have tried to keep himself up, but I wasn't too convinced by what I saw from him in that moment. And there was a couple of chances he had where, again, he took another shot, and then it rebounded to Martinelli in the second half, who I thought maybe was going to score on the rebound, but was saved by Leno. But was Gyökeres massively pivotal in that game? Did Gyökeres drop deep to try and win the ball? Do we want Gyökeres to drop deep to get the ball, or do we just want him in the box? The guy's not really doing much at the moment. Nothing's coming off for him. And we can use the excuse of we don't give him any chances. But he had a couple of chances today and he didn't deliver. One of them he should have done better with, he'd put it sky high. The other 2 were saved by Leno. And let's be real, when he had opportunities, he failed to outmuscle the defender. Or when he did spin, he went down to try and win a penalty. I wasn't massively impressed by Gyökeres today, I've got to be honest with you. And I'm starting to doubt what it is, because I'm not really a fan of Havertz. I wasn't really a fan of Jesus. I wasn't really a fan of Lacazette under Arteta. And certainly Aubameyang was on the left most of the time. Eddie Nketiah wasn't for me. And now I'm starting to wonder whether Victor Gyökeres was for me. And I wanted this player big time. Is it a style thing? Is it that Gyökeres isn't very good? Have we got a bit of a dud? I'm starting to question it now, people, because I was saying we need to give the ball to Gyökeres, but now we're starting to, and he's starting to miss, or he's not getting his shot off, or when it is, it doesn't look like going in. I need to see more, is what I'm saying. And I don't feel like today's performance was convincing enough for me to think that we're definitely 100% winning the league. Having said that, last season we drew there. This season we won there. Last season we lost at Newcastle. This season we won there. Last season we lost to West Ham at home. This season we won there. So for me, we've taken 9 points, and last season we took 1. So I'm not trying to compare what we did last season because we were miles off it. But certainly when you're looking at league form and where we're trying to go to win the title, you want to be doing what we've been doing in comparison to last season, right? So I'm looking at the striker situation and I'm starting to question it now. I'm not giving up on him because we've only just come back one. You know, I said we weren't going to give up on him at West Ham. I'm certainly not going to have one more game and go, I've made my decision, he's a flop. But I wasn't massively impressed with him today. Now, some people might be very impressed by his physical bullying of centre-backs. I think he can do that. I think he definitely can hold his own. I'm never worried when he goes up for a challenge that he's going to come out, you know, second, or he's going to fall on the floor or whatever, because he's a big, strong lad. And I think he holds his own just as much as Kai Havertz, if not more, if I'm honest with you. But I've got to be honest, I'm still not massively convinced by Gyökeres yet. And that's been now 7 games without a goal. For a striker that we want to be getting 15 to 20 goals at the bare minimum in, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's great from him. I think we should be doing better. And I think he should be doing better. Now, don't get me wrong. There's absolutely a question about whether we actually provide him with enough chances. I don't think it's unfair to say that we don't create him ahead of a lot of chances. I don't think that's wrong what people say that. But today I actually thought there was a couple of opportunities where he could have scored. And I have now gone through in my head thinking, should have done better against Leeds, but didn't realise he had enough time. Should have done better against Port Vale when Max Dowman puts him through. Should have done better for me against West Ham where he falls over the ball. Should have done better today where he spun and he actually, you know, spooned it over. Yeah, there's 4 or 5 opportunities now where I can actually say Victor Gyökeres should have scored and should have done better. I was happy to say find your feet. I was happy to say bro off the cobwebs. I was happy to say get yourself fit, put yourself in front of goal. I feel like we've done that now. And let's just be brutally honest, people. He's had the best part of a dozen games at Arsenal and 2 international breaks. We should now be looking to judge him now that we've got to October and realise what sort of striker this is. So I appreciate those that say there's zero supply and there's no creativity and we're not setting it up and putting it in front of him. When we have put him in front of him, he tapped it in. Brilliant. Eze against Forest. But let's see more from Victor Gyökeres is all I'm saying. Let's not be afraid to say, I really wanted this guy, but I'm still not convinced. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Don't be one of those that, like me, was really excited to get him and then go, oh, I don't think he's rubbish, actually. But, you know, I'm just going to say he's going to be good. Don't do that. Be honest about what you think about this striker. Be honest about the reasons why you don't think that he's scoring in the last 7 games. Why do you think that is? Is it an Arteta thing? Is it a style thing? Is it a play thing? Or is it just that Gyökeres just hasn't been convincing enough yet? I don't think it's bad to say that in his first, 12 games that you haven't been quite set on it yet. So I think we need to be honest. I think we need to have that conversation now. Have that question mark. I don't think we were convincing today in terms of peppering goals, creating chances. Should have been 5-6, attack-minded, handbrake off, flying down the wings, putting in crosses for Gyökeres, missing everything. I don't think it was anything like that. I think it was a very compact, boring, resolute game, which yet again we're relying on corners. But I actually do think in the game we should have scored a goal from open play because we had enough chances. The penalty incident, just quickly, is an interesting one for me because I looked at it and I thought it was outside the box. Then I looked at it again and thought, oh, it is inside the box. Then I looked at it a third time and thought, oh, it looks like he's got the ball there. So I actually think VAR worked right and correctly in that respect. In terms of Fulham, it would have been incredibly harsh to give away a penalty for that. It looked like it was very, very close to being a free kick, but it was actually inside. And I thought VAR worked quite well there, to be fair. And I don't think Anthony Taylor was that bad today. I know people will say that was a shambolic individual error, but it did look like a foul and it did look like it was close. So I don't think we can say Anthony Taylor's a crook because he's gone with that, which is an awful decision. And I saw some people in group chats of mine saying, oh, it was a disgrace. He's a terrible referee. We kind of know they're all terrible, right? But I didn't look once today and think Anthony Taylor is a disgrace because, he's clearly got that wrong and that's out of order on Fulham. VAR worked. They looked at it, they reviewed it, and the decision was made right. So I will say that. Make sure we've hit like and subscribe, people. We only need 20 away from getting 55k. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button because we can hit 55k tonight, and that is the target. To get to 55k this soon would be incredible. So please make sure that you are doing that, people. That would be very much appreciated. At the moment, if you haven't got your shirt, please make sure that you have done by going and going to OK Jerseys. And you can get anybody on the back as well, by the way. Anybody on the back as well. We've actually lost some subscribers, which is crazy. That was on 54980. We're now on 54975. Some people have unsubscribed. That is mad. I haven't seen that before. Maybe they've had enough of my chat. But yeah, if you can please hit subscribe. We literally do need 25 people to hit the subscribe button. Just 25 people. Come on, people. Let's do it. So look, not convincing today. Wasn't wowed. Wasn't, oh my God, what's happening? Oh yes, Ryan, if you're a medium, order large. If you are going to order on OK jerseys, get the size up. Yeah. If you're a large, get an XL. If you're an XL, get an XXL. And if you're a medium, get a large. If you're a small, get a medium. There we go. And use the code as well, 12man for 8% off. They are cheap, £15. Get any name on the shirt as well that you want. If you've want Eze, you want Gyökeres, you want Saka, then go for it. If you're not an Arsenal fan, you can get any name you want on the back as well. If you're going for another club jersey or international club as well. And you can get the retro ones. If you want to get Zidane on the back of the France shirt, R9 on the Brazil shirt, Thierry Henry, number 12 on the French shirt. If you want to go for David Beckham or Wayne Rooney or something like that on the England shirt, and you can do that as well. Look, people, I've got to be honest. It wasn't massively convincing today, but we did get the result. And that's what matters, really. 3 points. Big win today. Pressure on Liverpool tomorrow. I know it's at Anfield. I know it's Manchester United. But playing Man United for Liverpool is different than playing Man United when you're Arsenal or Tottenham or Villa or Everton or Fulham. When you look at the scenario of the Anfield, Manchester United kind of rivalry as such, two of the biggest clubs in England, two of the biggest clubs in football, it is very different. It's very different when Arsenal play Spurs, right? So that rivalry definitely has that. What does that mean for us? Well, it means we can chill and we can relax, have our roast dinner and watch what happens tomorrow. Manchester City won today. They put the pressure a little bit on Arsenal, to be fair to them. Yeah. Bournemouth were actually sitting top of the table with about 2 minutes to go until Crystal Palace managed to get the kind of equaliser there. That game was unbelievable, by the way. Absolutely unbelievable. So for me, right now, Bournemouth are laughing. Palace are looking good. But when you go for the title, it really is Manchester City, Liverpool and Arsenal. You can put Chelsea and Spurs and others if you want to. But I'm looking long term. I don't see Chelsea and Spurs getting into a title race. I just don't. I've got to be honest. Maybe they can, but the title race by January, February, I think you'll see who's in the title race. And I think it will be those three teams, Liverpool, Manchester City and Arsenal. And right now, Arsenal are looking good. Top of the tree, defensively resolute, not conceding goals, scoring goals. And we're scoring, if I'm honest, a little bit of a mixture. I'd like to see more open play goals. I think there's 7 goals now by corners, or it might even be 8. Then you look at the scenario of the open play goals. They have still been there. Penalties and free kicks have been there as well. So we're scoring all sorts of goals. I'd like to see more from open play. I think that will happen. And I think today the substitutes are an interesting one. Now, I don't know if he's looking more at Tuesday night. We might see a bit more rotation. I expect to see Martinelli starting. I expect to see Marino potentially starting. I expect to see maybe some rotation and some subs used, such as Ethan Nwaneri, who's not getting his chance still at the moment. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a difference in defence as well. But there's definitely options for us at the moment to be looking at and rotating. With the news of Noni Madueke, Havertz, and Nketiah and Jesus, all in the next few weeks, you'll start to see coming back into full training, potentially looking at getting themselves to start or on the bench or some minutes. I think that will start to happen towards November, December time. So we have got a squad that's good enough. We have got the squad that's strong enough and that's got the depth to go all the way this season. And I think that we should be looking at Arsenal going for the league this season. There's no doubt in my mind with the amount of games we've played so far to see that although we haven't really clicked yet, we're looking good at the top. Although Liverpool and City don't look like they're firing on all cylinders, they could click, and City have got Haaland, who's unreal, by the way, like scarily good. Another 2 goals today. It's mad. I don't think I've ever seen Haaland like this. It's just scary. And that could lead Manchester City all the way, by the way. That could be enough. So that's where I'm at. With Arsenal, we've handled the pressure so far. There's been 8 games now. The first 6 were pressure because we saw ourselves go to Old Trafford, Anfield and St James's Park. We hosted Manchester City at home. We played West Ham, a game we lost last season. We've just played Fulham, a game we lost last season. The next one we've got at the league is Crystal Palace. Before that, we have, of course, got Atletico Madrid. And then after Palace, Brighton in the Carabao Cup. So we've got 2 different competitions that we're playing in either side of Crystal Palace, which is going to be a very difficult game for me. We saw how good they were today at Selhurst Park. They've actually got a player in every department that I 100% would take in our squad at the moment. That's a massive compliment for the squad that we've got. I would take Maxence Lacroix and Guerhi if we didn't have our backup defenders. If they were to come available and I needed a player in that position, will I go for Marc Guerhi or Maxence Lacroix? Yes, I would. If we didn't have Ben White and we needed a backup right back, would I go for Daniel Munoz? Yes, I would. Would I look at Tariq Mitchell as a left back if I needed a cover? Yes, I would. In midfield, Adam Walton, baller. Up top, Mateta. Big fan of Sarr since he's come in. Still got players that are underrated and underappreciated at Palace, like Will Hughes, for example. So I think when you look at what Crystal Palace can offer, I think they can be a threat. And then, of course, before that, we look at the Champions League. Maybe he'll rotate a little bit, but it's going to be Atletico Madrid, which is, let's be real, one that everyone's looking forward to because it's two managers that play very similar. Diego Simeone and Arteta are very possession-based, and they have got a balance when it comes to attack and defence-minded. And I think it's two sides that rarely concede many goals. So I think this one is probably going to be a low-scoring game, but one that will be a battle. Two managers that are very passionate, that want to win this competition. So that one could be very interesting. And then we go into the Carabao Cup, which I think by then we'll probably see the likes of Ethan Nwaneri. Maybe we'll see the likes of Max Dowman a bit more. Maybe we'll see Mosquera and Capier and Lewis-Skelly and look to rotate in that game and still have enough to beat Brighton, which we should have at home. We should be beating them at home. We lost to them 2 years ago at home in the Carabao Cup, if you remember. We lost to them. I don't want to be seeing that this season because the team that we lost with had Eddie Nketiah starting, Reece Nelson starting, Fabio Vieira starting, Rob Holding, all these guys that were at the club back then. We don't want to be seeing that anymore. It's time to now rotate, but still be competitive to go and win the games. That's where I'm at. Let's do a couple of these super chats before we get out of here, people. Maka says, Gyökeres is so poor. He doesn't do anything. It's a concern. If I'm honest with you, I wouldn't say he didn't do anything today. I think I did mention that at the start. I think he did much, but I think he did do bits. It wasn't very convincing, was it? I wasn't massively impressed with him at all today, and I think that was fair to say to you, Maka. OGN also says the entire team was poor. They all look jet lagged. Yeah, do you know what? The first half hour today was sloppy. Very sloppy in terms of keeping the ball, passing the ball. Gabriel actually started really poorly. Simba gave the ball away a couple of times. Eza run into possession. Rice run the ball off. Gyökeres' first touch went out of play. I'm thinking, these all look like they've got to brush the cobwebs off, this lot. They looked tired. It looked lackluster. It didn't look fun. It looked boring. It looked a painful watch. And there wasn't really much that I saw improve. Calafiori had an effort. Other than that, there wasn't much to lift us. Gyökeres had a shot. Leno saved it. And then really throughout that whole of that half, it was like matchsticks in your eyelids trying to keep them open because it really wasn't that fun. So I've got to be honest. Leandro Trossard, fair play, but it wasn't his best performance. A goal today at 1-0, fair play. Bukayo Saka, hats off to you. Man of the match performance. Gabriel and Timber, really good at the back. Likewise, Saliba and Calafiori. Zubimendi and Rice did a job, but I didn't see much from them to wow me. And up top, of course, we've got Victor Gyökeres, who at the moment just needs a goal so badly. That's where we're going to end it, people. Make sure you do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Please hit subscribe because we are literally only 15 away from hitting 55k. In fact, we're only 14 away now. So if you hit the subscribe button, we can celebrate 55k tonight. Look, I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you do me a favor and show some love to OK Jerseys. And yeah, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I will see you next time. We're out of here, people. Up the Arsenal.